Hello there and welcome to a new video. In this video we'll be talking about the Canon R5 II. I know I'm a bit late making this video, but better late than never, right? Like in all of the videos of this type that I've made in the past few weeks, I will be categorizing this video into several different categories: photo, video, and body, and as a new category, autofocus. And as with the previous videos, I did not get to test out this camera. Sony didn't send it to me, and all of the test results are from YouTubers like Jared Polin, Peter McKinnon, Manny Ortiz, Petapixel, and Sony's own website. And at the end of the video, I'll be answering the question if this camera is any good, or if you should buy it or not. Category number 1, video. The Canon R5 II supports full-frame 12-bit DCI 8K RAW at up to 60 frames per second, SRAW 4K at up to 60 frames per second, full-frame 4K at up to 120 frames per second with audio. The previous camera did not have audio at 120 frames per second. 4K fine mode at up to 30 frames per second, oversampled from 8K. 2K at up to 60 frames per second, oversampled from 4K. 2K at up to 240 frames per second with audio. And 12-bit 42 in all modes. The camera also comes with C-Log 2 and 3, a digital hot shoe, no record limit, a tally light, and a full HD port. I'll be coming to the rest of the ports in a second, as well as auto leveling, air cooling vents, and an optional fan grip for extra cooling so that the camera does not overheat. Next category, photo. The Canon R5 II can shoot 12 frames per second at 40-bit RAW with the mechanical shutter, then 30 frames per second at 40-bit RAW with the electronic shutter, and has about a 6 millisecond readout speed with minimal rolling shutter. It also has a half a second pre-shooting, that's about 15 images at 30 frames per second with the electronic shutter, as well as variable shutter speed options, up to 1/8 thousandths of a second mechanical and up to 1/32 thousandths of a second electronic shutter. And then also a 197 megapixel upscaling mode, and a buffer rate of 93 shots with the electronic shutter at 30 frames per second, which is roughly 3 seconds of shooting. With pre-shooting on, it'll be about half that. Then about 230 shots with the mechanical shutter at 12 frames per second. Next category is the autofocus category. The R5 II sports the new Digic accelerator, a new IAF and subject tracking, human, animal, and vehicle autofocus, a new action priority autofocus, register people AF, simplified autofocus settings, and a standard joystick, not a smart controller. According to Jared Polin, the R5 II's autofocus is basically the same autofocus, if not similar to the one found in the Canon R1, Canon's flagship camera. Now to the last category, which is the body. The Canon R5 II has one CF Express Type B card slot, no CF Express 4.0 technology, however, and one UHS-2 SD card slot. Also less chance of overheating due to vents for passive cooling of the camera, as well as a battery grip with a built-in fan for some active cooling. It's like an AC for the camera. The EVF is a 5.76 million dot blackout-free EVF with a refresh rate of 120 frames per second. It has built-in eye control 2 and vertical rotating EVF info. It also has a 3.2-inch 2.1 million dot vari-angle touchscreen with vertical rotating info. And in order to use all of the functions that the camera gives you, especially in video and with that cooling grip, you need to buy the new Canon LPE6P batteries. The R5 II weighs about 1.65 pounds or 746 grams and sports a full-sized HDMI port, finally, and USB-C 3.2 Gen 2, as well as 3.5mm mic and headphone jacks. The price of the R5 II is €4,799 or $4,299. And finally, to answer the question if I deem this camera good or not. The R5 II is certainly a good camera. Canon has packed it full of brilliant features that everyone will be able to use. However, when looking at the specs of the Canon R1, the new flagship, the one that we've basically all been waiting for, the Canon R1 almost seems like a Canon R5 II with a built-in battery grip. Because they're basically the same. Both have a stacked sensor. As far as I know, both 50 megapixel, correct me if I'm wrong. But Canon, why did you make two identical cameras? One of them is your flagship. Why did you do that? Anyway, they did it. I can't change it, and honestly, I don't want to change it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. Also, make sure to check out my other social media accounts. All of them are linked below. And thank you very much for watching. See ya.